Hi, I'm Kelly Hertz, editor of the Yankton Press and Dakotan. This is our weekly newscast, and with me today is Jeremy Hoeck of the sports department / news department, and we're here to talk about archery, which has been a pretty big topic for us here lately. Now, to set it up, we've had a lot of big topics in the sports part lately with a couple of Pro-Am golf tournaments and a couple of baseball tournaments, and we've just been going nuts. But the archery tournaments has really kind of brought Yankton some attention, and has really put Yankton in kind of not a stressful situation, but it's asked a lot of Yankton people. Can you tell me?
Because you think about all the news stories and sports events we cover over the years and over throughout the year, not many, if any, have a global impact that we're talking about with archery. I mean, we have national archery tournaments, and these are people from all over the United States, but then the one that's ongoing starting today and actually runs through Friday the 8th is an international one. So these are people from literally all corners of the globe. And I was thinking about that today. I can't really think of anything that Yankton has hosted or could host that has this sort of a global impact. And it's always been archery. And it seems like every year we have a big archery tournament. And of course there's going to be the biggest one next summer, which we can touch on. But for right now, these are, you're talking people from 17 different countries. And of course the United States is the biggest has the largest representation of archers because it's in the U.S. But you're talking, South Africa, Australia, in almost every European country too. So this is a big challenge for Yankton. From like an economic standpoint, from these businesses and hotels to be able to support this, but also it's pretty good practice.
I was at the opening ceremonies for the IFAA meet yesterday, Sunday. This is Monday afternoon when we're filming this, and honestly, we talk about world tournaments and all these people coming in, but when you're there and you see these uniforms right in front of you, it says South Africa or Deutschland or Germany, whatever, it really makes an impression on you.
It really does.
What's going on here, and suddenly the gravity of the situation, which is kind of hard sometimes to convey, maybe to readers and things, it really hits home that this is a big deal, this is a big event, and this is a really good positive thing for Yankton and the Yankton area.
Absolutely. On your point, I run into that personally when writing these stories and trying to push that across and to fill readers in that when you're talking people from India, we saw a bunch of those last night, Germany, I talked to a couple people from Argentina. It's really hard to wrap your mind around the fact that this is so new to them, because you think Yankton, for them, and even for us, Yankton is such a small dot on the map, and South Dakota is a small dot on the map. And to think that they're all here and they all flew in on these international flights and all drove here, and they're here in our town for not just a day, but they're here for, most of these guys are here for a week and a half.
Yeah, because the way in your story today, it was not easy for a lot of these people to get here. There was many hours, in some cases days of traveling just to get here.
The one guy I talked to today from Switzerland, and that's one of my favorite questions to ask, and he said it was 30 hours.
Yeah.
You're literally on a plane or in a hotel, in a bus, in a car for a day and a half. That is just incredible.
And you're going through airports. Imagine how many Starbucks you walk by. But this is, as we said, next year Yankton has a big world tournament, junior international.
Yeah,
it can draw up to 1 billion people following it, either on television or online or wherever. And Yankton is preparing for that, and I think this is a good practice for that. But that's going to have a big impact too on the sport here.
Absolutely. And we've tried to let people know that really help because we're so used to these kind of like these alphabet soup tournaments, the NFAA, the IFAA, and we've really tried to get across that this one that Yankton won the bid for next summer, 2015, is actually look at the list of cities they beat out. Mexico City, you're talking millions of people in Mexico City, and so for our little town. And the one thing I was thinking about with that today too, with this international tournament that's going on now, these are adults. And there are some youth, but mostly they're somebody's children, so
Yeah.
they just bring them with.
Yeah.
And the adults, they fly here on their own. They're, you know, they have rental cars. They're on a bus. They're pretty much on their own around town to do what they want. Next summer, these are all kids.
Yeah.
So the archery center here in Yankton is literally responsible. They literally are babysitting, you know, a couple hundred kids from all these countries. So they're responsible for meals, entertainment, travel, and that is an enormous task.
That's a good point, and that is gonna be a big task, just hosting all these people, but just the kind of people you're gonna be getting, it is gonna be a big task.
Absolutely.
And it's gonna be interesting to see how this shakes out. I know they're working on it now, they've got an infrastructure in place, an organization, they'll be looking for volunteers, and it is a great experience and a great thing for Yankton, in the Yankton area. And South Dakota, really, you know, it's good exposure as the four Mount Rushmore guys.
They had those Mount. If you haven't seen the photos, I can post a photo. But they had the giant mascot costumes of all the Mount Rushmore heads.
Yeah.
And that was fun to watch these people from Brazil or Argentina. They have no idea what these guys are, and so they go and get their photos taken with them. It is just funny.
Yeah, it looked to me, I was watching George Washington was like all hands. You know, well, anyway, be that as it may, that's it for this week, and you want to check out some great archery action, this would be the week to do it out at the Easton Archery Center on the east side of Yankton. For Jeremy Hoeck, I'm Calais Hertz.